The economy of Spain is the world's 14th largest by nominal GDP as well as one of the largest in the world by purchasing power parity. The country is a member of the European Union, the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, and the World Trade Organization. Spain has a capitalist mixed economy. The Spanish economy is the fifth largest in Europe behind Germany, the United Kingdom, France and Italy, as well as the fourth largest in the Eurozone based on nominal GDP statistics. In 2019, Spain was the 15th largest exporter in the world and the 14th largest importer. Spain is listed 25th in the United Nations Human Development Index and 32nd in GDP per capita by the World Bank. Therefore, it is classified as a high-income economy and among the countries of very high human development. According to The Economist, Spain has the world's 10th highest quality of life, following the financial crisis of 2007-2008. The Spanish economy plunged into recession, entering a cycle of negative macroeconomic performance. Compared to the EU's and US's average, the Spanish economy entered recession later, but it stayed there longer. The economic boom of the 2000s was reversed, leaving over a quarter of Spain's workforce unemployed by 2012. In aggregated terms, the Spanish GDP contracted by almost 9% during the 2009 to 2013 period. The economic situation started improving by 2013-2014. By then, the country managed to reverse the record trade deficit which had built up during the boom years, attaining a trade surplus in 2013 after 3 decades of running a trade deficit. The surplus kept strengthening during 2014 and 2015. In 2015, the Spanish GDP grew by 3.2%, a rate not seen since 2007, the last year before the world financial crisis struck. This growth rate was the highest among larger EU economies that year. In just 2 years, the Spanish economy recovered 85% of the GDP lost during the 2009 to 2013 recession, which got some international analysts to refer to Spain's current recovery as the showcase for structural reform efforts. Strong GDP growth was registered also in 2016, with the country growing twice as fast as the Eurozone average. In this regard, the Spanish economy is forecast to remain the best-performing major economy in the Eurozone also in 2017. Spain's unemployment rate fell substantially from 2013 to 2017, although the real unemployment rate is much lower as there is an estimation of millions of people working in the grey market. People who count as unemployed or inactive yet still perform jobs. Although estimates of the hidden economy vary, the real Spanish GDP may be around 20% bigger, as it is estimated that the underground economy of Spain moves annually 190 billion euros. Among high-income European countries, only Italy and Greece are estimated to have larger underground economies than Spain. Thus, Spain may have higher purchasing power as well as a smaller Gini coefficient than shown in official numbers. In 2012, the Spanish government officially requested a credit from the European Stability Mechanism to restructure its banking sector in the face of a financial crisis. The ESM approved up to 100 billion euros in assistance. Although, in the end, Spain only drew 41.3 billion euros. The ESM program for Spain ended with the full repayment of the credit drawn 18 months later. Spain ranks 32nd on Transparency International's 2021 Corruption Index. When Spain joined the EEC in 1986, its GDP per capita was about 72% of the average of its members. At the second half of the 1990s, the conservative government of former Prime Minister José María Aznar had worked successfully to gain admission to the group of countries joining the euro in 1999. Due to its own economic development and the EU enlargements to 28 members. By 2007, Spain had achieved a GDP per capita of 105% of European Union's average, which placed it slightly ahead of Italy. 3 regions were included in the leading EU group exceeding 125% of the GDP per capita average level: the Basque Country, Madrid, and Navarre. According to calculations by the German newspaper Die Welt, Spain's economy had been on course to overtake countries like Germany in per capita income by 2011. Unemployment stood at 7.6% in October 2006, a rate that compared favorably to many other European countries. and especially with the early 1990s when it stood at over 20%. In the past, weak points of Spain's economy included high inflation and large underground economy. The turn to growth during the 1997 to 2007 period produced a real estate bubble fed by historically low interest rates, massive rates of foreign investment, and an immense surge in immigration. At its peak in 2007, construction had expanded to 15% of the total gross domestic product of the country and 12% of total employment. During that time, Spain capital inflows including short-term speculative investment financed a large trade deficit. The downside of the real estate boom was a corresponding